Welcome to our simple guide to completing Form AS1. In this video, we will assume the deceased's property is registered with us. Assent is the process of transferring legal ownership of property from someone who has died into the name of a new owner, the beneficiary, or in this case, the transferee. When a property owner dies, people are appointed to deal with the estate. They are called executors if there is a valid will, or administrators if not. We use the collective term personal representative to describe either an executor or administrator, and the term transferee to describe the beneficiary named in the will. If you are the personal representative of a property owner who has died, you can use our Form AS1 to register the transfer. Please note, if you are selling the property to a third party, that is, someone who is not a named beneficiary in the will, you will need to fill in a Form TR1 instead of Form AS1. You will also need to send us a completed application form AP1 and evidence of identity for the personal representatives and transferees, together with a true copy of the probate or letters of administration. More information and guidance on our requirements for evidence of identity can be found in Practice Guide 67. You'll find a video showing you how to use our ID forms to show evidence of identity on our Public Guidance YouTube playlist. When you're ready to start, download Form AS1 from our website at gov.uk. Please be aware, if there is a mortgage involved, a mortgage lender may insist that you use a conveyancer to handle and make the application, so you will not be able to submit it yourself. I will now show you how to fill in Form AS1. In Panel 1, write the title number or numbers of the property you are going to assent. When we register property, it is given a unique Land Registry reference number. This is shown at the top of the first page of the title register and also on the title plan. If you don't have the title deeds, the quickest and cheapest way to obtain them is to view or download a copy of the register using our Search for Land and Property Information service, available on gov.uk. The property summary is free, while a small fee is payable for each copy of the register and title plan. You will need an email address and a debit or credit card to use this service. In Panel 2, insert the full address of the property, including the postcode. If it is a piece of land, give a brief description, for example, land adjoining 2 High Street, Peterborough. Panel 3, the date. Leave this blank for now and we will come back to it after the assent has been executed in Panel 12. Panel 4, name of deceased proprietor. Here, write out the full name, including middle names, of the person who has died. Don't include titles such as Mr. or Mrs. If you want to, you can include other titles, such as Dr., Sir or Lady. If the names in this panel are not the same as the names in the register, you will need to send us evidence, for example, a deed poll or marriage certificate, to account for why the deceased's name has changed. Panel 5. Personal representative of deceased proprietor. Insert the full name of each personal representative. If the personal representative is a company, you will need to complete the additional questions. Panel 6 asks for details of the transferee, that is, who the new owner will be. Write the full name of each beneficiary. As these are the people the personal representative is transferring the property to, they are known as the transferees. This can be the same person as the personal representative. In our example, Thomas Henry Smith is the executor, but both he and his wife, Betty Smith, are beneficiaries, so we put both their names here. If the beneficiary is a company, you will need to complete the additional questions. Panel 7, transferee's address for service. Each transferee, in this case Thomas Henry and Betty Smith, must give us their address for service, so we can contact them should we need to. They can each give up to 3 addresses, one of which must be a postal address, but not necessarily in the UK. The others can be any combination of postal addresses or email addresses. Make it very clear whose address is whose. As a general principle, it is important to keep your address in your register up to date. We may have to write to you about matters relating to your property, and if we don't have an up-to-date address, you might not receive important letters. This is especially important if you are a landlord who doesn't actually live at the property. Panel 8, the assent. The statement in this panel actually refers to the property and is appropriate in all cases, so please do not add to it or amend it. Panel 9. Title Guarantees. Putting an X against one of these guarantees means that Thomas Smith is giving certain binding promises about his right to the land. If he puts an X in the first box, full title guarantee, this means that he is guaranteeing, to the best of his knowledge, that there are no mortgages against the property, no one has a right of way over it, nobody has a lease on it, and no one else has any other interest in it. If he puts an X in the second box, limited title guarantee, this means he is giving a lesser guarantee. In this case, he is promising that he hasn't taken a mortgage or let anyone else have an interest in the property, which still exists on the date of the assent. It is often the case that you, as the personal representative, are not able to give more than a limited title guarantee because you don't know what interests the deceased had created. If you don't know which option to choose, you should seek legal advice. Panel 10. Declaration of Trust. You fill in this panel if there are 2 or more transferees. The transferees should decide which type of joint ownership they want. You can own a property as either joint tenants or tenants in common. In our example, Thomas Henry Smith and Betty Smith want to own the property as beneficial joint tenants. So Thomas puts an X in the first box. The type of ownership affects what you can do with the property if your relationship with a joint owner breaks down or if one owner dies. Our online guidance may help, but you should get legal advice from someone who specialises in property. If you do not complete panel 10, we will put what we call a Form A restriction in the register. This might restrict how you can deal with your property in future. If you have any doubts about what you need to put, we strongly suggest you seek legal advice. In panel 11, you write down any additional provisions affecting the land or its owners. If there are any covenants or agreements made between the personal representative and the transferee, this panel needs to be filled in with the details. Otherwise, leave it blank. If you are unsure what to put, again, you should seek legal advice about them. Panel 12. Execution. All of the personal representatives must execute, which means legally sign, the assent. If panels 10 and/or 11 have been completed, the transferees must also sign in the presence of a witness. Our example shows the correct way for individuals to execute a deed. If you're signing on behalf of a company, there are different ways to execute the deed. For more information, see our guidance pages on gov.uk. Simply type PG8 into your browser. Back to individuals. The witness to your signature should be somebody who is independent, but preferably someone who knows you well and could confirm, if necessary, that you did sign the assent. One person can witness more than one signature, but they must sign and complete the details to every signature they witness, and be with the person as they sign. Once you have signed and dated the Form AS1, it takes effect as a deed and is legally binding. If you're unsure about any aspect of this, we recommend you seek legal advice before making an application. You can now go back to panel 3 and fill in the date the assent has been executed and witnessed. And that's it! Send your completed forms and probate or letters of administration to the appropriate address listed in our guidance page on gov.uk or to HM Land Registry, Citizen Centre, at our standard address for applications, which you'll find on our website, gov.uk. Simply type HMLR address into your browser. A couple of other tips before we go. Please make sure documents are clear and legible, and provide a translation into English or Welsh if you are submitting foreign documents. We hope you found this information helpful. Further guidance on completing Form AS1 can be found on our website. For more videos on a variety of land registration topics, subscribe to our YouTube playlist, Public Guidance. You will also find information and guidance on a variety of topics on our Customer Training Hub on gov.uk.